I remember walking into a classroom in College Station, Texas, and seeing a poster on the wall that read, "You can learn a lot from a box of crayons. Some are sharp, some are pretty, some are dull, and others are bright. Some have weird names, but they've all learned to live in the same box." Gosh, at the time I didn't really understand what it was trying to say to me, but it hit me like a ton of bricks. You see, it's the idea that we can't all be the shiniest crayon in the box. We can't all be sky blue or fire engine red. As a matter of fact, as an engineer, my art-minded friends tell me I should probably use fire engine red sparingly anyways. It's the idea that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, and that collaboration, the topic of my talk today, is the driving force behind creativity and innovation. And the amazing part about it is we all can do it right here in this room today. I grew up in a small town in East Texas, and like all kids do, I played the team sports, baseball and football, basketball. You know the drill, you probably have games tomorrow. I'm sitting on the bench one night thinking, gosh, I'm really not very good at these sports. I mean, I'm great at riding the bench, but I'm not really learning anything about teamwork and collaborating. I'm not really getting a sense of self-accomplishment either. What can I do that I have full control over? I remember sitting down with my dad and we talked about this. I've got it. Golf. I'll play golf. It's a sport that you have complete control over. So I trade in the jerseys and buy myself a polo and some khakis, and I hit the links. I'm 12 years old, and I'm starting to practice and take lessons. And for those of you that have tried to learn golf, I have to practice and take more lessons. And my coach tells me, he says, "Rob, to be good at golf, you need to enter tournaments." Now, I'm 12 at the moment, and he says, "You need to enter tournaments to see where you measure up with the other kids." And so I do, and I'm so excited, but I start getting sent home after just 9 holes. Not with trophies, not with medals, but because I'm really not good at golf either. Oh, dang. You know, it's like everything I'm doing here, I'm not making much progress. But that's okay because I know I want to play golf. I'm going to try my best to learn the game. I keep my chin up. I stay motivated. I'm now a freshman, and I'm not making a whole lot of progress, at least not as much as I had hoped, learning the game of golf. But I try out, and I actually make the varsity golf team. Team in golf? I thought golf was an individual sport. I've been learning it alone. How do 5 golfers actually work together? I wonder if there's a bench in golf. I've been so good at riding the bench, maybe I'll ride the bench in golf too. For those of you that aren't familiar with team golf, in team golf you actually take the 4 lowest scores and you combine them to make a team score. I'm a senior now, and we start winning as a team, and it's kind of interesting. I'm not used to that, and we actually place in the Texas State High School Golf Tournament. You see, I don't always shoot the lowest scores. As a matter of fact, my scores relative to others are really not that good. But when working together as a team, when focusing on the team prize, we start to do some amazing things. We start to win. You see, we leave selfish shots out of the bag. Our approach to risk and reward is more calculated. I'm starting to finally get it. It's starting to kind of sink in. I know where I fit. I know my role. I understand what I can contribute to the team now. This is probably the first time that when you look at a dollar and you see that silly Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, that I actually know what it means. It means in many, one. So I realize I'm really not going to have a career in golf, so I decide to get rid of my golf career and desires and hang it up with a few trophies, a couple medals, and to be honest with you, the start of a bad habit of gambling on the golf course. But that's okay because I'm going to enroll in Texas A&M University, and I'm going to be a biomedical engineer. I'm going to be a doctor. And I'm really excited. Now, Texas A&M at the time had 45,000 students, and I had just moved from a town in East Texas that had 13,000 students. And so I was alone, and no big deal. My life consists of classes and homework and studying. But a strange thing starts to happen. I'm not making the grades. I'm not progressing in the curriculum like I had hoped, like I had planned. For those of you in the room that know me, Hopefully you know I'm not going to be your doctor, because I wouldn't make a very good doctor. I'm not one, if that says anything. I changed majors to aerospace engineering. I think at the time, aerospace engineering, it's got to be easier. But I realized that it's not. And I have to do something different. And so I actually formed a study group. And this was new to me. But all of a sudden, we start to ace the classes. I start to become the guy that people want to hang out with and study with and work with. I start to attract some of the best and the brightest minds around me. It was truly amazing. By now, you've probably seen two patterns. I'm not the shiniest crayon in the box. I will admit that. However, I'm starting to mix colors, and I'm making things bigger and brighter than I could have ever done alone. It's finally starting to sink in, the power of the team, the value in having numbers work together. I'm starting to finally see that great groups are the key to success. I'm starting to finally see that great teams make great leaders, and great leaders make great teams. The lone Hollywood genius, or the lone genius in Hollywood, we all know is a great story. However, if you want to go somewhere alone, you need a band of fellow travelers. Phil Jackson, one of the greatest coaches of all time, said this: "The strength of the team is each individual member, and the strength of each member is the team." Phil Jackson instilled this philosophy in his coaching. Phil Jackson won 11 NBA titles. That's more than any other coach in NBA history. It's starting to sink in. By now, we're starting to get at the value of the team. I go to work for Lockheed Martin as an engineer on the F-35 program. And my boss starts to see that I can bring groups together, and he starts to assign me to lead projects and then programs, and then all of a sudden he's saying, go lead this team and go lead this large group of people. I'm starting to see that bringing together interdisciplinary groups and perspectives is allowing me to solve problems that no lone domain expert could ever do alone. I'd like to go back to that poster for just a second, the poster that changed my life forever. That poster for me, it kickstarted a passion of working on some of the most difficult problems that anyone could throw my way. That passion is what drove me to move my family from a very comfortable and warm job in Fort Worth, Texas, to right here in Youngstown, where it's cold. But I love it. That passion is what allowed me to join a movement to revitalize manufacturing in the United States of America. Now, I don't need to say this to very many people in the room, but we all know that manufacturing has been dealt a major blow. In 2000, there were 17.5 million jobs in manufacturing, but by 2010, we had lost 5 million of those. That's over a third of the manufacturing workforce that was just gone. When we start to lose jobs, when jobs start to disappear, it affects the entire industrial common. Location matters because collaboration has a ripple effect, both positive and negative. There was a report that MIT did just recently, and they said across the entire industrial landscape, there are missing pieces, there are gaping holes. And it's not just that factories are standing still and crumbling. It's because key strengths and capabilities have disappeared that once served to bring new enterprises to life. I'm in Youngstown because location matters. Pectus excavatum is a congenital deformation of the chest wall. It affects the respiratory and cardiac functions. Pectus excavatum actually affects 1 in 350 babies every single year, and only 1 in 4 of those babies can actually be treated with surgery. Dr. Charles Berdagi, the head of pediatric surgery in a hospital in Barcelona, Spain, he conceived of a solution, an implant that could treat more babies. He partnered with a company who specialized in precision automotive part manufacturing, and together, they designed and developed a solution known today as the Pectus plate. They proved that by working together, by bringing different perspectives and wildly different backgrounds, and through things like technology transfer agreements and non-disclosure, the legal stuff, that they could actually solve amazing problems that nobody was solving. They brought together different backgrounds to do amazing things. The example I just shared is a thin slice of opportunity that can happen and will happen right here in Youngstown and will be replicated all across the country. Manufacturing packs a punch way above its weight. Manufacturing, while only accounting for 12% of the gross domestic product in the United States, actually employs over 60% of the workers in research and development. And actually, manufacturing accounts for over 90% of the patents issued. That's incredible. Manufacturing also creates jobs in other industries as well. For every one job in manufacturing, 1.6 jobs are created in other industries. And for every one job in advanced manufacturing, that number can be as high as 5. When jobs disappear, it affects the entire industrial commons, as I just mentioned. The President and the White House have committed to stir a movement to revise manufacturing in the United States. They are dedicated to try to get the old way of thinking out of all of us. They're trying to convince us that, you know what, manufacturing is not about dirty, old, dumb factories. Rather, it's about a spillover innovation model of connected supply chains, working across industries, building smart, distributed manufacturing through the use of advanced technologies like 3D printing and the cloud. Location matters, which is, again, why I'm in Youngstown. There was a study that was done by a company by the name of Delgado, Porter, and Stern, and they said that locations with shared capabilities across industries not only have a faster rate of employment, but also enjoy the growth 45% faster in other industries as well. I'm part of a group called America Makes. America Makes is an organization that is working across industry, academia, the government, and makers to collaborate on bringing together the country on innovation, on advancing 3D printing technologies. We're working together to try to solve problems that have never been solved before. And America Makes is home-based right here in Youngstown. America Makes is America's first and preeminent national institute. America Makes has got an objective of a very open information exchange where we encourage the ideation of 3D printing research and ideas. America Makes actually has a singular focus, and that focus is to integrate 3D printing into American manufacturing for a single purpose of advancing U.S. domestic competitiveness. The President, in his 2013 State of the Union, said, "3D printing has the potential to revolutionize the way we make almost anything. The next industrial revolution will happen right here in America. We can get that done." And we're starting to get that done. The President just recently even said that the model of collaboration we're creating here in Youngstown as part of America Makes is a model for new institutes that will be rolled out over the coming months. That's amazing. But I think I've just showed briefly that in my life, team-based collaboration and the value of that was something that I had to learn the hard way. I went at it alone and I stumbled and fell. I didn't always know where exactly I was headed. What if we could instill a sense of collaboration in our kids? What if we could encourage our kids to be part of the collaboration rebirth of innovation that's happening right now in this country? Well, we're working with kids across the country right now to instill what it means to make things here in America. We're going to create a generation of kids that will be making things, making amazing things, and they're going to do it on the shores of the United States. We're partnering with companies across the country to put printers in all schools, at least as many schools as we can, and we're projected to reach over 100,000 students. We're also partnering with STEM initiatives, where we're looking at putting 3D printers and integrating them into curriculums and projects. But it's not just about the next generation of collaborative, innovative leader. It's also about today. That's why we're working across a broad range of industries like art and architecture, automotive, aerospace, biomedical, consumer goods, healthcare, food, fashion, just to name a few. Broad adoption enabled by collaboration will allow our designers, our engineers, our scientists to solve problems that they have never been able to solve before. Great groups are islands with bridges. I have one last point I'd like to share about team-based collaboration. Innovation doesn't always happen in the hubbub of the big, fast cities. As a matter of fact, innovation usually happens with small teams. Teams that are off the beaten path. Teams willing to think different. Teams that are willing to build bridges to new places. Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." When I heard that the Institute was going to be located in Youngstown, I have to admit, I thought Youngstown was off the beaten path. But in reality, Youngstown is the heart of America. And each of you represent the colors that I discussed earlier, that I saw in a box of crayons and a poster back in college. I came here today to build bridges with each of you, and you came here today to hear me talk. You came here today to gain strength from you as fellow travelers. You came here today to learn from each other, not hear platitudes and old war stories from the likes of me. Because you see, at the end of the day, when America makes across schools and foundations, when America makes across startups and large corporations, when America makes across every concerned and thoughtful citizen in this country, America works. Thank you very much.